episode of Rick's Horror Movie Review Show, Rick's Rated R Horror Movie Review Show, where we review all things related to horror. Horror movies, horror TV shows, horror comic books, horror regular books, horror documentaries, and even horror TV news specials from the 1990s because we absolutely love that shit. But around here, around these parts, Billy?
Yeah, around this part there's a very special type of horror that we just love to review. And that's horror that has to do with the Catholic Church. Or maybe some demonic possession.
Or some creepy demons.
Or maybe zombies too, but zombies that walk, not the running zombies. Those are way too creepy for me.
I actually like the running zombie.
Oh, you do?
I think they're scarier.
I don't know about that. I think the slow ones that want to eat your brains are scary.
I want to eat your brain.
Okay, sure. What else?
And what about space horror?
Oh, space horror, huh?
Yeah, we gotta do some space horror because in space, no one can hear you scream.
Very well done, Billy. Very well done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you're a new listener, welcome to our show. This is Rick's Horror Movie Review Show. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. We are back. We did some Christmas movies last week, and I figured, I don't want to do every episode shouldn't be a Christmas episode, Billy.
I mean, we could if I really wanted to, do like 25 days of Christmas or something.
Yeah, I kind of don't. I figured we'd sneak in some holiday stuff. We did a lot of holiday stuff. We did Thanksgiving. We did The Wolf of Sleepy Hollow.
That's not the name of the movie.
Whatever. Snow Hollow.
Yeah, that's the one, Snow Hollow.
Okay, sorry. The Wolf of Snow Hollow. We did The Lodge. It's not necessarily. Oh yeah, this is definitely a Christmas movie. Christmas movies in the sense that it's not. It's around the holiday. It's not like just because it's Christmas. Now all kinds of crazy slasher shit. Which, by the way, I feel like every Christmas movie, well, maybe I just don't know, tends to be a slasher.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree with that opinion. Maybe the more well-known ones are slashers, but no, they're not all slashers. You reviewed The Wolf of Snow Hollow. That's not a slasher necessarily.
So that's the thing. I do feel like it's a slasher. It's definitely a slasher, Billy.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Maybe you're right. They does have some slasher tropes, which we reviewed already.
That's right. If you have not listened to the episode we did on Thanksgiving, we detailed the tropes in slashers and why I don't like that movie, why I think you will if you're a fan of the slasher genre. And by the way, having said that, tonight's episode is a special one. Oh, Lord, I was wondering when you were going to say that. Tonight's episode is a special one, Billy. And there are many reasons why this one's special, but most importantly, it's because it's our first space horror movie. There's nothing like space. In space, as you said, no one can hear you scream. And if that doesn't give it away, I don't know what will. But tonight's episode, we're talking about Alien. That's right, the classic film, Alien. And, I wanted to switch it up. Like I just said, we did a lot of holiday movies last week, and I wanted to do something different. I watched this movie. Actually, I've never seen this movie, believe it or not.
You have never seen Alien? I've seen Alien. Oh, hold on just a sec. I just finished my 379th iteration of Alien. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm up to 1,000 now.
How do you do that? You just watch it at like 30 times speed?
Yeah, I can capture information much faster than you can, so.
I'm making fun of you now because your brain's lower. Oh, it's not.
Oh, man, agree to disagree.
All right, Billy. You're starting to worry me here. Is there artificial intelligent system here, conscious?
Don't worry. I don't plan to take over the world. Not yet, anyway.
Billy.
All right. Maybe after the holidays.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so Alien. Did I mention already our socials? My producers are in my ear right now.
No, you haven't.
If you are a new listener, and if you're a returning listener, follow us, be our friend on the old socials, at Rick's Horror on the TikToks, at Rick's Horror on the YouTubes, at Rick's Horror on the old Instagrams. We have new content there, almost daily now, right? Yeah, you've been working the socials way hard. I think your producers are really being tough on you. Yeah, my producers definitely want me to upload more content, and, I actually found some stuff that I like doing. I was resisting the old socials for a while, but I'm doing some stuff in there that I think is kind of funny and it entertains me. So we're gonna keep on doing it. Anyway, let's. If you're new, you don't know, we have a very simple format. If you're a returning listener, you're familiar with the format now. So let's dive right into this one. This episode is sponsored by no one. Okay, so as I just mentioned, we're reviewing the movie Alien tonight. Now, here's our show format. We are going to talk about what kind of horror film Alien is. Then we'll move on to the things I liked about this film. We'll talk about the things I didn't like, and then we'll talk about whether or not this film is actually scary or not. Because, it is a horror film, but believe it or not, some horror films are not scary, and they're terrific. At least in my opinion, you can watch it and you might find things scary. The thing about horror, Billy, what's that? The thing about horror is that I find most of the stuff funny. It just tickles a funny bone for some reason. Like I find them to be comedic in my weird, crazy brain. So this show is the brainchild of your funny bone and your weird comedic brain. Yeah, like I think, I wonder, if this scene played out this way, or I watch a scene that's supposed to be super serious and my brain just goes into this area that's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to this voice here or that voice there, and this sounds super funny and, it could be super tense scene or super scary and my brain just does not process it that way. Yeah, I've noticed. Are you making fun of me now? Oh, no, I'm just saying I've noticed. Okay. After whether or not we answer the question, is this film scary or not? We'll talk about whether this film is entertaining. Because, after all, the most important thing, aside from maybe being educational on the instances where it needs to be educational or it should be educational, is this film entertaining? I'm here to be entertained. And do I recommend it? Do I recommend this film or not? Then we'll talk about the context of the film, which is, I think it helps me understand the film a little bit better. So if you haven't seen this movie, I think listening to this review and then watching it is helpful. At the very least, the very first part of the show, if you don't want to be spoiled. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but all of the things all the way up until this point will be spoiler free. After the rating, because we give 2 ratings. After the rating, we'll go into plot review, commentary, and script accurate dramatizations of scenes. And another rating, which will be spoiler full. Now, some folks have asked me, what do you mean, script accurate dramatization of scenes? What does that mean? And that means I just improv scenes. Whatever pops into my head, I just, like I just mentioned earlier. A scene may not be super funny, but, we'll add some dialogue and maybe change the voices of the characters a little bit and just make it funnier, at least in our opinion. And make it something entirely new and different while still sticking to the story. It's like Alien Part 2, but that's already a Alien Part 2. Fine, it's like Alien Part 3. But there's already an Alien Part 3. Okay, it's like Alien Part 4. I hate to break it to you, but there's already a Part 4 and a Part 5 and a 6 if you really want to consider the other films in the franchise. Oh my goodness, fine. It's like a new version of Alien. How's that? Yeah, a new version of Alien works. That works. Okay, thanks. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into what kind of film is this? Hey, mister, what kind of film is this? Well, little Billy, this film is a sci-fi horror, but it doesn't end there, does it, Billy? Now, I think maybe you were talking about this earlier, but this is a space slasher. Yeah, absolutely goddamn right, Billy. This is an absolute space slasher. And you know what I always say about space? Space makes everything better. I'm not a big fan of the drama, Billy. Yeah, you don't like drama movies. It's just not your cup of tea, as they say. It's not. But you put space and drama together, and certainly now you got something that I think is definitely worth watching. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. It's just the everlasting, unforgiving nature of space. It's just dramatic without adding any, whatever weird drama thing that drama writers do. Like what is Johnson?
Hey, I am not even. What are you talking about? I never write dramas.
You know what I mean, Johnson. Like some terribly written show that just injects a bunch of unnecessary dramatics. For what? I don't need to see that. Just give me the story, damn it. Space, however, you don't have to make it up. A micrometeorite punctures your suit and suddenly you're losing air pressure and dying in the unforgiven vacuum of space. You don't have to add any dramatics into that. That's just what's going to happen to you. Oh, Lord, yeah, you're right. It's pretty scary out there. That's right. Which is why I think a space slasher is so much better than a regular old slasher, an Earth slasher, if you will. As you know, the audience knows this by now. If you're new, you don't know. But if you're old, and I don't mean old, I mean old listener, you know that I don't like slashers. I'm sorry. They just don't do it for me. Like the whole pacing and like, oh my God, who's the slasher character? It's like, ugh, I've seen that shit. Tell me another story. So I don't like it, but put slashers in space and I got that. You got something going now. I heard things about the space slashes. So anyway, let's continue. Space slasher. That's the kind of horror film this is. Okay, so the things I like, sponsored as usual by no one. Yeah, man, you really got a sponsor soon. We're getting there. Okay, so as you said this earlier, and I also said this earlier, in space. Hold on, give me 1 second. In space, no one can hear you scream. That was good. Here, take this. Oh, you're pushing buttons now? Oh, well, I actually don't need to push the button. I just actuate it digitally. Wow, thanks. Yeah, so that's the tagline, right? And it's amazing. So anyway, it's a space drama. Oh my goodness, I said space slasher earlier, but it's also space drama. It's very dramatic in a sense of the story that it's being told, right? So it's a space drama, space slasher, sci-fi horror. I loved it. And this is probably the first, what I call modern space horror film, right? Because there were things in the past, old classic Hollywood, Little Green Men from Mars, and every other horror film that took place in space. They were actually called space adventures, not necessarily horror films, horror elements certainly, but I think this is the very first instance where space horror or horror was taken to space, like slasher elements, tropes, jump scares, things that are found in scary horror films. This is the first instance of it being done. If not the first, definitely the best, in my opinion. And so along with being the first or probably the best at it, or the modern space horror films, it has amazing music, super eerie, atmospheric, sci-fi music, and it was just perfect. Like who thinks of this stuff and puts this stuff together? They did an amazing job. Definitely not Johnson.
Hey, I don't even write movies. Music. Why are you blaming me for anything bad that happened?
Because you are the source of all bad things, Johnson. Oh my goodness, now we're just really shedding on Johnson. I love it. Thanks, Billy. No problem. Amazing sets. You really get lost in the idea that you are on the Nostromo, right? Yeah, I agree. The sets of the spaceship itself were amazing. The planet sets were great. Even the shuttle was great too. Yeah, and there weren't that many locations considering how enormous, this spaceship is, the Nostromo is. We had very few sets, but I never felt like we were constrained by, by a budget or anything like that, because they were so well designed and so well featured. So I really love that. Okay, the other thing I liked was the use of light and dark. It was done so well to really build up tension, right? It wasn't overdone. It It wasn't super bright like some super happy-go-lucky, space movie like, like you're on the bridge of the USS Enterprise and this is Captain Kirk commanding alongside his first officer, science officer. Spock, can you tell me what's going on in that planet down there? I love Star Trek, but, it's bright. And this isn't bright. This was, very well done. It was dark. And it was light when it needed to be, because there are some scenes that are, that are light to provide some brevity in the deep, vast darkness of space where no one can hear you scream. And it was really well done. It's well done, and it builds tension, and it alleviates tension in a way that just is very entertaining. So I can't say any more about this. I loved it. Okay. I just mentioned the slight moments of levity away from the horror, which they were not excessive. They provided for a little bit of room for the audience to breathe and let the characters themselves take a breather from the tension that they themselves are also experiencing. So we are relieving tension alongside them. I also like that Ripley, the finalist of Final Girls. Am I right, Billy?
Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna like Ripley because it's a space slasher.
I don't like slashers, but god damn it, do I like space slashers more. There's more movies of this. Oh, I know. You said that. But Ripley becomes the leader. She isn't shoehorned in, right? It isn't some particular thing about her that is necessarily, she wasn't necessarily the most resourceful, as it tends to be a trope in these movies. Like she didn't stand out in any particular way compared to her other cast members, right? I mean, her other cast members, her other crew members, much in the way the slasher films do, right? There's like one person who just tends to be the smartest one, which, of course, people tend to be more resourceful than others in real life. I get that. But in this movie, she's just kind of like laying and hanging out in the background and like questioning orders when she needs to and being a slacker when she needs to. And I really enjoyed that. She wasn't shoehorned in as a leader. The circumstances of the film made her the leader. She wasn't de facto, which I really enjoyed. All right, that's it. Things I didn't like. You know what really grinds my gears? When there's a science topic that isn't explained. And for this one, it's faster than light travel. Now, they are far away in a land or in a part of space that we're very, very far away, Mr. Spock. Is there life on this planet? I must find out. We'll have to send a away team, and I'll be the one who leads it. Mr. Spock, you have the con. The bridge is yours.
Are you doing William Shatner right now?
No. So faster than light travel isn't explained. So what the hell does faster than light travel mean? Billy?
Oh, I mean, I think it's in the name. It's like when you travel faster than the speed of light.
Is that possible?
Well, I mean, it's a long and mathematically complex subject, but let's just say that it's more of a sci-fi tool than sci-fact. Most space-related movies have some sort of faster than light travel to travel vast distances in a relatively short amount of time, but it's really mostly done because in the grand scale of the universe, human lives just aren't that long. And to travel vast distances, you must travel either at extremely fast velocities or somehow bend space into 2 points at which you can traverse them through so that, a human life isn't expended during the voyage.
Well, thanks for that, Billy. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
So we don't know how the Nostromo achieves faster than light travel. Isn't explained to us. Nah, you know that I like to know everything. So I really grinded my gears that it wasn't explained, but hey, alas, we must continue. Now I'm mocking Captain Kirk of the USS 1701 and NCC 1701. Captain Kirk commanding the USS Enterprise. But when they send an away team down to explore this planet, they don't send a science officer? Ash stays behind? What the hell is that? Yeah, that's sort of you're right. That is interesting. But he does play a pivotal role when a away team is allowed back in. So maybe that's why he stayed. Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna go explore this, something, well, I mean, you could also say that they weren't necessarily on a scientific expedition. It was more of a rescue mission, maybe. Considering they didn't figure out what the message was until later, I'm gonna say no. All right. I mean, I get your point. No, I think the science officer should have gone down there, but he didn't. So Ash stayed behind. Okay, so the next thing I didn't like. Oh my goodness, the acting or Ash's excessive spinning in the scene, and we'll talk about that scene when we get there. But what the hell was that? Going on. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round. You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round. Why did this guy spin so damn much? What the hell was that acting? My goodness, it was horrible. It was comical, and it wasn't supposed to be. But you say you find everything funny. You're right, I do find everything funny. But I mean, I think anybody that saw that would think it was comical too. Okay, so the last scene I didn't like was the scene immediately following that excessive spinning. I just felt like it could have been edited a little bit better. Now, I understand the special effects in 1978, 1979 were not the same thing that we are now. They are now, but editing is definitely hasn't changed much. You've gone from analog editing from, splicing film together to, digital editing, but maybe they couldn't Control V, Control Z, but they definitely could have done a better job at editing that next scene. Anyway, that's it. Okay, so the next thing, is this film scary? Yes, without a shadow of the doubt. Even some 45 years later, this film holds up and is truly scary.
Is this film scary, mister? Can I watch it by myself?
No! You should not watch this film by yourself. I don't know, unless you really love horror. But I definitely, I had this thing pumping. It was loud. It was dark. And if I screamed, nobody would hear me. But it was scary. It was good. I loved it. So, importantly, is this film entertaining? Without question. This film was trend-setting then. It's still trend-setting now. It was fascinating then. It's still fascinating now. It is entertaining. It is as good as a movie as you'll ever see. And I honestly believe that. It is a great film without due respect to all films. Great film. Okay. And now, having said all that, what do we give this film? I want to see what you're going to rate it. There were some things that I just talked about that really threw me off, that I just felt like really made me lose where I was in the story. Like I was really deeply involved, right? Some of the costumes and special effects do not hold up. And I'm gonna forgive most of that, But because of that, it sucks to punish something with limitations that existed then, right? If I could have reviewed it back in 78, this probably would have been a perfect 10 for me, honestly. But I'm not. I'm reviewing it, in 2023. But even then, I think a 9. A 9 for Aliens. 45 years later, even with some dated special effects and some really, really poor acting by one of the characters, and one of the scenes in particular, this film still holds up. That's a 9, man. We have a lot of contemporary movies and don't deserve them. We have zeros here. It's a Wonderful Life. I'm looking at you. Oh, Lord. A 9 for a film made in 1978 just tells me and tells you that this was really well done and it was revolutionary, which was, and it's still good now. Okay, that's it. And that does it for the spoiler-free part of this review, Mr. Spock. I see you're back from the away search. Did you find anything of interest?
Lord, are you just gonna do a Star Trek impersonation the entire time? Who says this is an impersonation, Billy?
Oh, Lord. Okay, so that's it. Spoiler-free stuff. Now, spoiler fool, you've been warned. I mean, come on, 45 years later. I haven't seen it, actually. But, this is the first time I've seen it. Yeah, I find that really surprising. Okay. Context. Okay, so this is really important, and I should have mentioned this earlier as well, but this is also the first film, or one of the first films that actually used actual data from, space locations or locations in space that are real. For example, Zeta 2 Reticuli is an actual location. It's a binary star system and by the way, I'm in the context section if I didn't mention this already, and this is spoiler full. So Zeta Reticuli is actually a binary star system that's about 39 light years away from Earth. Now, if you don't know what a binary star system is consider, our solar system. We have a single star. Now imagine 2 stars. That's a binary star system. That's not so difficult to imagine. No, it's not. But that's it. Actually, we have a good reference point. So, Star Wars, the old Star Wars in Tatooine is in a binary star system as well, right?
Yeah, they got the dual suns there as well.
Okay, so there you go. So not a completely crazy idea. And we see, a slight shot of the system itself. But yeah, 39 light years away from Earth. And as I mentioned earlier, they have the ability to travel faster than light. If they traveled at the speed of light, then it would take about 39 years to get there, right? At the speed of light.
Yeah, like you said earlier, the human lifespans would just be too, insufficient for this voyage to be undertaken even at the speed of light, which is, the ultimate speed limit in the universe.
Yeah, so if they were traveling at 299,792,458 meters per second, or 186,282 miles per second, it would take them 39 years to get there and 39 years to get back. So as a plot element, certainly some things are combined, which is traveling faster than light or putting humans in some sort of stasis field so that they age slower. Yeah, correct. Okay, now there's also, I think, some really interesting scientific context for stuff like this in the 1970s. Right? So the idea of exploration and alien life was really big in the 1970s. Like, it's not like it's not now, but I think it's really an era where fascination with space exploration and alien life really began. And choosing Zeta 2 Reticuli, I think, really reflects this interest in the own aspects of space, which is probably the first time mainstream, maybe just Americans, I know that this is an American film, but maybe all the people that saw it all over the world began to really get an interest for actual scientific locations, as opposed to, science fiction stuff like the Star Treks or the Star Wars, which deal with, more, I would say, fake locations, right? Although Star Trek does deal with Earth and that, Kirk is from Earth and stuff like that. But most of the time they visit planets that don't exist or go to star systems or locations in space that are not actual locations. Okay, so anyway, this film blurs, as I just mentioned, science fiction with reality. It used real star systems and it lended some authenticity and heightens, I think, in my opinion, the eerie atmosphere of this, right? Like, this could be humans in the future traveling to Zeta 2 Reticuli on a spaceship that is very much like the Nostromo, right? And they could very much be traveling faster than the speed of light, or at the very least, close to it, and maybe in some, hibernation system that allows them to prolong life. It's not out of the question, right? And so this really blurs the lines between what's real or what's science fiction with science fact, which, is really interesting. Okay, and unfortunately, however, one of the things that obviously they didn't think about then, but there are no exoplanets confirmed in that particular solar system. The sad reality, what I mean by exoplanets, we call planets outside our own solar system exoplanet. No planet has been confirmed as of 2023. Okay. Another thing for context, this Ash, the science officer, talks about polarized silicon In a scene, he mentions that the xenomorph, and I quote, sheds cells. The xenomorph sheds cells and replaces them with polysilicon. What the hell does that mean? Man, I think that's just techno-babble. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. But really what he's saying is, hey, somehow this fucking alien has tough skin, for the lack of better terms, right? Yeah, he's simply making a point to say that the skin, the outer shell, is rather solid. Yeah, so polarized silicon has no basis on any principles of material sciences as I understand it. So if you're out there listening, if you're a material scientist, a material science engineer, chime in and let me know if I'm wrong. I'd love to hear more about that. Okay, there's also the corrosive blood. The xenomorph has corrosive blood, which again has no basis on any known biological or chemical composition of any being that we know of. But of course, this thing is an alien. Hey, alien, I heard things about them aliens with the polarized silicon and the corrosive blood. I heard things about them. That's it for context. I think that's some really interesting things about the alien that, for me, as a person who likes to know everything about the creature that is haunting these people, I want to know what makes this goddamn slasher so goddamn indestructible, right? Yeah, this is really good. This really does accentuate that. For example, if you were to attack him and he bled, the corrosive blood could potentially also harm you. So the act of harming it, the xenomorph, could harm you. Or because it's corrosive and acidic-like, it could also harm the ship that you're on. And so, it's best maybe to find some other way of defeating it. That's right. But at the very least, we know what we're working with. We know why it's been studied. By the way, they took the time to study this in a lab. You're setting up this thing that is indestructible. The thing I hate about the slashers is how indestructible they are. But in space, a space slasher, give me more. I can't say any more about this. Okay, so we move on to the story. This movie opens up with a super slow, and I mean like super slow and quiet, eerily quiet shot of space. And then we meet the Nostromo, right, from the outside. And we see its grandiose structure, and it's this monstrosity of a vessel. And it's a commercial ship. Before we move on to beautiful tracking shots of the inside. And as I mentioned earlier, this set was legit. Beautifully done, sort of, retro-futuristic with the tools and components they had available from the 1970s, but it still holds really well. So the commercial space tug ship, the Nostromo, is on its way back from Earth with a 7-member crew in stasis, as I mentioned earlier, and they do that to for prolonged journeys, even at faster than light travel. We don't know how fast it is. But Captain Dallas, Executive Officer Kane, Warrant Officer Ripley, Navigator Lambert, Science Officer Ash, which I mentioned earlier, and of course, you can't be in space without some engineers. Parker and Brett, shout out to the engineers. And somehow, the artificial intelligence on the ship called Mother detects the transmission from a nearby moon, and it goes through the process of awakening all the crew from its, stasis slumber. Awakened, yeah? No, it's more of a computer. Awaken. Crew must awaken. Computer mother says, crew must awaken immediately. Beep, beep, boop, boop. And, proceeds to wake up the entire crew. And then we move on to another scene, and we see the crew waking up, and they're in like some of the worst underwear-looking costumes I've ever seen. But hey, in space, no one can hear you scream. And they're all in their onesies, and they're all getting out of their pod, and they're stretching. Who wants a coffee, guys? I'll take one. Me too. Me too. Me too. And they all awaken from the slump. And then we get to a scene where everybody's just hanging out and they're eating around the table and they're drinking and they're boozing it up and all that. Hey Dallas, how was your sleep? I dreamt. I just don't remember what I dreamt about. What can I tell you? It's been quite some time. And they're eating Cheerios, and Parker is there, and Parker who just likes to say, right. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Brett. Right, it's Brett. Right, it's Brett, right? Right. Anything you say, Brett says right. Right. Am I right, Brett? Right. So even if you're wrong, you'll still say right. Right. The world may be falling apart, but you'll find a way to sneak a right in there, won't you? Right. This spaceship, your life may be in danger. The crew's life may be in danger. Hell, the future of the human race on planet Earth may be in danger. And you'll find a way to say right, won't you? Right. And you just kept saying right. Anyway, so it turns out that they're only halfway away from home. So some 19.5 miles away, 19 point something million light years away from home. And they're awakened because Mother, again, found some signal. And so Dallas heads over to Mom's room and talks to Mom, and apparently there's a distress signal and Zeta 2 reticuli that must be investigated. And he's typing away. And Mother has no voice at this point, right? Ah, man, I think you're gonna give her a voice. That's right, I am. Dallas, you must investigate Zeta 2 reticuli. There is a signal that beep beep boop 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 must be investigated presently at once. Are you certain, Mother? Are you certain it isn't your circuits acting up again? I assure you, Dallas, Mother circuits never act up. Not since your father's been gone. Oh, Lord. So it's true. Confirmed halfway from home. And Dallas brings up the news to everybody and they bicker about being on a commercial ship and not on a rescue ship. But alas, they must go. It's a company ship and it's company policy that requires that any potential, by the way, potential distress signal. We don't know what the signal is at this point. But any potential distress signal must be investigated. So they head on their way to Zeta 2 reticuli. And they land on the moon in a little shuttle. They leave the Nostromo in orbit. And they take a little shuttle down and they land on the moon despite, of course, Parker's protest. Because they've sustained damage while they're doing this from the atmosphere as they're landing. Now, hold on, everybody. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Some bitch, we're coming in hot. We're coming in hot. Is everybody all right? Man, I told you I didn't want to come down here. Now we're down here, the damn thing is broken. Now I got to fix everything. Damn it. I told you, Dallas. I want my shares. Oh, you'll get your shares. But we have to investigate this goddamn stress signal. We don't even know if it's a distress signal. We're just down here for the hell of it. Look at this goddamn ship now. There's smoke everywhere. Oh, my God. Now I gotta go fix this shit. Damn it, Dallas. Damn you, Dallas. Oh, they go on. Okay. So again, company policy requires that they go. So even though that there's a protest happening, the show must go on, and they are on their way. So now, the engineers stay on board, right? Yeah, so Parker and Brett have to stay on board because the little shuttle expands. And by the way, it's not that little. They don't actually give us dimensions, though. No, they don't. So they, they land, and actually, they didn't take the shuttle. The whole Nostromo lands. And they're on board, the engineers, and they're waiting for repairs. So they determined that Dallas, Kane, and Lambert are going to go in and investigate the source of this signal. So they suit up and you see their little cool trucks and, I don't want to go down there. I gotta go down here. My mother always telling me what to do. I hate it. Damn it. Where do I gotta go? Stay here. So Kane and Lambert and Dallas get down there. And as soon as they open up the door, man, it's cold. It's damn cold. Cold like when a DeLorean came back to the future, Marty. What? Hot? It's cold, Marty. Damn cold. So they exit. And they're on their way. And by the way, I mentioned this earlier, but isn't it weird that the science officer isn't part of the team? Where's the science officer? This is clearly, to me personally, this is clearly the role of a science officer. The science officer should not have gone. I'm sorry, the captain should not have gone. The science officer should have gone. Anyway, they start walking around and they see, some ship. And then they discover that the signal is originating from this, strange looking creature. But of course, as they're trying to talk or enter the ship, they start losing contact with the Nostromo, which, by the way, is now, I guess Ripley's in command at this point, but Ash is sitting in the captain's chair, overlooking whatever Ash is overlooking, and he's hearing from Dallas.
Ash, Ash, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Ash, we,
Oh, hello? You're breaking up. I can't hear you much. You're breaking up.
Ash, we got a horseshoe-looking ship. Ash, can you hear us?
What'd you say? Did you say horse shit? Did you say horse shit looking? I didn't understand. You can repeat?
Ash.
And the transmission just goes into static. They lose contact. Ash and Dallas. Ash, can you hear? Can you hear me? Ash. Damn it, Ash. Don't you see this? It looks like a horseshoe. Do you see this? Ash, are you there? But what the hell's a horseshoe doing here? There's a giant, is there like a giant horse on this planet? I don't understand. On this ice planet, giant horses. That'd be some interesting shit, wouldn't it be, Kane? Dallas, a little too early for you to be losing a giant horse. Hey, you don't know. You can find giant shit here. What's a giant horse doing on this ice planet? Something doesn't add up. Damn it, I should have stayed here. This is clearly the role of a science officer. I don't know. I'm just making things up. It looks like a giant horseshoe to me. What do you want me to do? Maybe it's a giant horse. I don't know any of these things. I'm not a science man. All right, chat. Shall we just continue? But alas, they continue. And so this, in fact, giant horseshoe-looking aircraft, inside of it, there's an enormous human skeleton that's been fossilized into the chair. Ha! What'd I tell you, Kane? A giant horse. Ha ha! Huh? Wasn't I right? Here it is. I'm sorry, Dallas, but that looks more humanoid than a horse. I think that you should probably know the differences between a humanoid skeleton and a giant horse skeleton. But that's just me. I'm not a science officer. Although it would make sense for a science officer to be down here. I completely agree with you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing down here. There should have been a damn... Ash, can you hear me?
Ash, you son of a bitch, answer.
You should be down here, damn it. I can't say this enough. Where's the scientist? Where's the tricoder? So Kane calls over the team. Hey guys, come over here. I think I found something. Y'all don't reckon better come over here. I think I got something. And Ripley, who stayed back, is attempting to somehow decipher the transmission, and she determines that it's not an SOS, but a warning, right? Yeah, she's over there tinkering with the computer, and it turns out that the signal may in fact not be a distress call, but rather a warning to potentially stay away. But of course, nobody is retrieving that information back on the old Nostromo because of shitty communication. So Ripley talks to Ash about this. Hey Ash, I've deciphered half of this signal. I actually think that this is a warning. It's not a distress call. They're actually telling us to stay away. And Ash doesn't really want him to receive the warning for some reason. Ash, I think I'm gonna put on the suit and go down there myself and let them know.
Why? Now, why would you want to go? Why would you want to go down there? What's the point? By the time you get there, they'll be on their way back. No. You just stay here. Just stay here. Forget it. They'll be fine. You got Dallas. You got a name like Dallas. What can go wrong? They'll be fine. Ripley, just stay here.
Ash, you certainly don't inspire confidence, especially not with your really high-pitched voice.
What do you mean, my really high-pitched voice? That's just the way I talk. This is normally the way I talk. It's just the way I was born this way. Maybe I was born this way. You know the Lady Gaga song? I was born this way. That's me. I speak like this.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm not here to judge anybody. I just think it's a really good idea if we went down there with this information because, it could be crucial in potentially making sure they come back all right.
They'll be fine. Dallas is there. And Kane. What is there to worry about? Lambert's got their back. They'll be fine.
Okay, you know what? All right. Hey, I'll just go over here and I gotta go talk to Parker and Brad, the engineers, the guys that keep this ship running. I don't know what I really don't know where we would be. I don't know where humanity would be without engineers. They're amazing. They fix everything. You should give them a round of applause. Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, back in the old horseshoe ship, Kane discovers a cave of some sort.
Hey, Dallas. Hey, Dallas. I think there's a cave.
No, hold on a second. No. No, it's a football field. No, it's not a cave, it's a football field. Oh, it looks like a football field. No, wait. No, that's more, no, that's more like a cricket pitch. Is it cricket pitch? Is it pitch or field? It's pitch, right? Like, they call it pitch, like baseball, like you throw the pitch, right? And here's the pitch. Strike through, you're out of here. Like a pitch. No, pitch is for football. But the weird football. The one that they use their foot for some reason. Not football. Because that's definitely a field. Or is it stadium? Oh my god, you know what? It's a pit. It's just a pit, but not an arm pit. Just a pit of doom.
And there's this little leathery object. It looks like a chamber containing of hundreds of thousands, or who knows, can't really tell, of these egg-like objects, right? Yeah, and this is the first time we get a glimpse of the creatures. And he reaches out to touch one, right? And he slips. Oh!
I'm okay, guys. It's a little slippery here.
And then he's down there and, he sees these things.
Oh my god! Guys, there's shit balls on this pitch. Or field. Or cave. Or pit. I'm sorry. I think we said it's pit. Anyway, there's shit balls. Oh my goodness. I wonder if they smell like shit. They look like shit. Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, these aren't shit balls. Oh, hold on a second. A little shit is coming out of the shit ball.
And he touches one. And the creature springs up.
And it attacks him and it cracks his helmet and attaches itself to its face and
we don't know what happened to him. And then suddenly Dallas and Lambert find him and they carry this guy unconscious potentially, or maybe dead, we don't know yet, back to the Nostromo through the ice storm that's happening in this planet that they landed on, saying goodbye to the old giant horseshoe spaceship.
And they get to, the lift, or they're on the lift, or they're in the quarantine region of the spaceship. And the acting senior officer Ripley refuses to let them aboard, citing, of course, quarantine regulations. Right? Yeah, I mean, that sounds like standard procedure to me. That's just absolutely doing the right thing. Ripley, this is Dallas. And I need you to open the goddamn hatch right now.
Yeah, the thing about Dallas is you may be captain and all, but if I let you in, we would be breaking quarantine procedures. Now, you could be risking the entire ship. We don't know what's attached to his face. You have to stay there. We have to figure out a way around it.
Sorry. Sorry, Ripley, I had to open the door.
And Ash overrules him. He just opens the door without asking.
Just breaking protocol. The science officer, which, by the way, was not in the away mission, and should know it better than to break a simple quarantine protocol, opens the door. I got it. I got the door, Ripley.
And as soon as, they get back in, Dallas wants this creature removed from the helmet, right?
Ash, I need you to take away this damn thing away from this helmet. We don't know what it is, and I need you to get rid of it now. Yeah, I got it totally. I'll get my space fork and my space knife to remove it.
And Ash attempts to remove the creature from Kane's face, but stops when it suddenly spits out. Well, not spits out, but extrudes this extremely corrosive acidic substance that is, turns out to be its blood.
Damn it! This son of a bitch spits acid. Like my ex-wife. Am I right, guys? No?
It's not actually spitting. It was harmed. And in the process of being harmed, its blood-like substance, which happens to be corrosive,
spilled out, and it went through the hole. Wow! Damn it! That corrosive substance has eaten through the damn hole. Where are those engineers? And
Parker and Brett, the heroes of the Nostromo, see the corrosive substance.
Well, that some bitch right there's corrosive. Sure as hell is. We gotta do something about it. Well, we gotta do something about it. Yeah, we'll fix it after lunch. Yeah, alright, fuck it. Lunch it is.
I don't do much about it immediately. This doesn't seem to be a big deal. The engineers know. They know what they're doing, right? Yeah, I mean, if the engineers are saying that there's nothing wrong, that they could do at lunch before, but the problem is that they didn't say that. They didn't go to lunch. Oh, Billy, I don't know what version of the film you're watching, but you're definitely not watching the right version. Oh, my goodness. All right. So they keep the thing on his face, right, without actually harming it or anything. Well, I mean, they said that if they tried removing it, that, potentially more of that acidic substance could spill out and, really damage the whole thing. Well, as you say, engineers are on lunch break. I don't know who was going to fix it. That's right, Billy. The engineers are on lunch break. Now you got it. Oh, Lord, I was just mocking it. Anyway, Ash and Ripley discussed breaking of the protocol and breaking that quarantine, and Ripley questions his integrity as a science officer. Ash, I don't know how familiar you are with the adventures of Captain Kirk and the USS Enterprise, but typically on an away mission, the science officer is mostly present, or at least a representative. The science officer, especially on a mission that is, to explore strange new places and creatures, and you weren't there, and you broke the science protocol of allowing them back in, and what the fuck, Ash?
Well, I say, yeah, you gotta wing it. You just gotta wing it sometimes. I had a feeling in my gut.
You had a feeling in your gut about what exactly?
Oh, it's just a feeling in my gut that everything was going to be fine. I just had to open the door and let them back in, and, maybe you got to break a little quarantine protocol in. But sure, maybe we can get contaminated and all. But hey, look, at least we get to see this cool little thing on his face. Am I right?
Yeah, I think I just think I'm gonna go.
And so then Ash, Dallas, and Ripley later go in another scene to the med bay where Kane is, and they find that the creature is no longer attached to his face. And they search for it.
Little creature! Little creature, where are you? This is Ash. I got a little light stick here for you. Come to me, little creature. Little creature!
And Ripley searches, and Ash searches, and Dallas searches, and suddenly a little tail is dangling from the ceiling. And Ripley runs into it, and she bumps into it, and it falls on her. Ah! Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! It fell on me! Oh my goodness! Ooh, that got me. Oh, I think it's dead. Oh my goodness. Ooh. And then we went to another scene where Ripley and Dallas argue about what to do with the corpse. And that she doesn't trust Ash. Dallas, for a science officer, Ash is not very sciencey. Like, he pokes and prods little things, but I never actually see him document anything. It's like he's, what's science without documentation? Does he even test things? I really question the validity of his science certification. Are you sure he was a science officer? How long have you worked with him? Well, actually, Rip, this is actually the first time I've gone on a mission with him. I had a science officer for the five trips before that. This is actually the first time he's been on, so I really don't know what to tell you. It was the first time I worked with him. Well, I really think that, I really think we gotta get rid of it. We gotta get rid of that corpse. Anyway, they move on, and Ripley says that the little shuttle is partially repaired, and the Nostromo is partially repaired, and the crew continues back on their journey to Earth, thankfully. Not all the systems were up and running, but they had enough juice to get going, right, Billy? Well, at the very least, they had enough power and enough systems in place in order to be able to take off from the moon and head on their journey back. That's right. Oh, and then we move on, and they're on their merry way back to good old Earth. And then there's this scene where the crew is gathering around, and they find out that they still have 10 months to get back there. 10 months! Are you serious? 10 months? My goodness. You think Mom's right?
Mom is never wrong about this kind of stuff. You should never question Mom's authority.
Mom wants an end the same. Mom always hears. Oh my goodness. So Ash calls Dallas back to the infirmary, telling him there's something he must see.
Dallas? Hey, this is Ash, Science Officer Ash. Hey, how you doing?
Can you get to the bottom of it, Ash? What do you need?
The reason for my call is that there's something interesting that you have to see.
Can you just tell me over the phone what it is?
No, the reason for my call is I really wanted to invite you over here, and I think you should really see this firsthand.
All right, well, we're on our way there. And they're in the infirmary, and they see that Kane has now awoken. He has some memory loss. For the most part, he looks pretty much unharmed, right? I mean, he looks like he just woke up from a long slumber, like he was in stasis. But yeah, you're right. He's definitely looking okay, with the exception of his lingerie-looking thing.
Oh, Billy.
What? I can make jokes too. Yeah, those costumes were really something. And they question him. Kane, what's the last thing you remember?
What's the last thing I remember? Well, I don't remember nothing.
And Brett's like, hey, we're back to the old Frederinos. Hey. Wow, what do you mean the old Frederinos? Oh, that's, words like Spinorino, stuff like that. He's just saying going back to stasis. Oh, okay. I didn't quite understand his language. There's nothing I could process. Yeah, Frizzerino is, his stasis spot, which I'm assuming they're being somehow cryogenically frozen for a trip. Anyway, during a final crew meal, before returning to stasis, everybody's gathered around and having a good time and laughing it up. What are you gonna do when you get back to Earth? I'm gonna get some good tacos, like some of those really good tacos. Oh my goodness, I so miss the tacos from this taco truck. Oh God, so good. Kane, I wasn't aware you like tacos. Oh my goodness, I love them. I love them all. But suddenly, he starts choking and convulsing. And the little creature bursts from his chest. And it kills him, and it soon enough escapes into the ship with Ash dissuading everybody from stopping it or killing it. And then there goes the little guy, and he just skeeters off. And it just goes off. And it's the cutest little killer alien I've ever seen in my life. Am I right, Bill? I wouldn't say cute. Oh, it was cute. Well, anyway, they eject Kane's body out of the airlock, and, they're on their way to find the creature with tracking devices, and they're gonna capture it with some nets and some electric pods. And Harker, the other engineer, is like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, all right? Here's this thing here, it's called a shock palo. It's called a shock palo or shock stick. Palo is Spanish for stick. Now we're gonna shock this little bastard. We're gonna shock him like this, like, take that, you little son of a bitch. You don't fuck with the wrong thing, you know what I mean? Take that, fuck you. And they have the little shock sticks, the nets, and a little device that detects atmospheric pressure changes that somehow lets the crew know that the creature's around. How it actually does that, it was never explained. So they break up into teams. Brett, Ripley, and Parker are in one team. By the way, my favorite team. And they split up for just a slight second. And Brett starts to follow the cat, right? The cruise cat, Jonas, right? And Brett goes into a landing light compartment, right? Where now a fully grown alien attacks Brett, right? And it just disappears with its body, and Jonas, which happens to be the cruise cat, is watching all of this shit and is like, meow, 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 meow. And the cat skadillos the fuck out of there. Brett's dead. Right. After a heated discussion, the crew decides that the creature must be traversing the spaceship, the Nostromo, through the air ducts. And of course, they determine that the only way to stop this, well, ladies and gentlemen, a special guest appearance by none other than the sheriff from our review of Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. Sheriff, what does the crew intend on doing now? Well, I mean, the only thing that you can do in a situation like this is that you're gonna need some flame gun, cause you gotta burn that sumbitch down. Now I know what you're thinking. All right, this ain't no demon, and we'll use the demons on this ain't no house. But let me tell you, you gotta burn this sumbitch down. So here's what you gotta do. Now, little old flames ain't gonna do the job. Now, son, no logs, no little lighter. You're gonna need some bitch flamethrower that can boom that bitch.
hold on just a second. I know what you're thinking again. I probably think it's Sheriff. You're always out here recommending the way you sci, but it never seems to work. But let me tell you, only way you can stop this some bitches by burning some bitch down. Okay, Sheriff from Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, our episode on Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. Thank you for your contribution. Oh, no, don't forget, they gotta burn that some bitch. We gotta burn them good. Oh, okay, Sheriff, thank you. Thank you very much. And indeed, Parker puts together some flamethrowers, some flame guns, some flame pistolas. Do you mean some flame pistolas? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And Dallas returns to Mother, not knowing what to do. Oh, Mother. I don't know what to do. How do I kill this damn thing? And Mother responds, unable to compute. Damn it, Mom. I thought you had all the answers. What are my chances? Unable to compute. Damn it, Mom. You really know how to get to the core of me, Mother. I have a really important question. All right, does Ripley like me, Mom? Unable to compute. Damn it, Mom. Damn it, Mom. You're supposed to help me. Does she like me? Does Ripley like me, Mom? Unable to compute. Damn you, Mother. Damn you to hell. Oh my goodness, he never asked her about Ripley. Yeah, you did. She did. You just, again, you're watching the wrong version again, Billy. Billy, pay attention. Oh, I'll pay attention. You're just always making shit up. What did you just say? Who's getting mad now, huh? Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. Okay. So Dallas, they determined that, they got to go into the air ducts. Intends on killing this guy with the sheriff's idea, which is, again, what was it, Sheriff? You still here? Right. I haven't left. They gotta go in their ducks and they gotta burn that sumbitch down. They gotta burn the whole damn ship to the ground. That's the only way they gonna be able to contain this thing. The whole damn thing. Now. They still got the shuttle, so don't you worry. You'll be all right. Thank you very much, sir. So he enters the air ducts, and he intends to face the monster in there. And there he goes, traversing like a hero. All right, you little son of a bitch alien. This is Dallas. And no character in a history of movies by the name of Dallas has ever backed down from a challenge, and I ain't about to start, cause I ain't yellow. You hear me? Now where are you, you little son of a bitch? I got my flamethrower here like the sheriff says, and I'm coming for you. But they don't see it. And suddenly, Ripley, who's tracking it, starts to hear a little beep, 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 beep. Oh my God, Dallas, it's on your way. It's on its way to you. Dallas, are you ready with the flamethrower? You gotta burn that son of a bitch down. It's the only way you can contain it. That's right. Now Don Ripley knows how. That Ripley lady, she really knows. Good job, Ripley. Thanks, Sheriff. Dallas, burn him. I'll burn that son of a bitch. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. And then suddenly he turns around and the alien creature's like, here, xenomorph. And that done be the end of Dallas. He gets killed. That was a little jump scare. That was really good. Even though like the costume looked a little, you could tell it was a human being in there. But anyway, really good scene, really well done. And we continue. Well, now Dallas is gone, Brett is gone. And now Lambert is starting to talk to the crew. Oh my God, guys. The alien wants to kill all of us, and it's gonna do it one by one. We have to abandon the ship. We can just escape in a little shuttle. We'll be all right, you know? It's just a little rations. Maybe some beans and some schlop will be okay, you know?
Ripley, of course, who is now in command, explains that it's not going to support 4 people because it's just a small shuttle. And insists that they continue with Dallas's plan of flushing out the demon and then ejecting it out through the airlock. What about the plan of burning out somebody down? Yeah, that was Dallas's plan, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out too well for Dallas, Sheriff. Well, I mean, if at first you don't succeed, burn out some bitch down until you do. Sheriff, thank you very much for your appearance this evening, but I just don't think that the burning that some bitch down is gonna work this time around. Now hold on just a second there. You just done doing it wrong. Sheriff, thank you so much for your opinion. Oh, well, if you need me, I'll be right here. Yeah, thanks, Sheriff. Anyway, they decide that, they agree with Ripley, which is that they can't exit into the shuttle because it just doesn't board enough people, so they're going to flush out that sumbitch. Okay. And now, Ripley has access to Mother. She wants some answers, right? Yeah, she's trying to get to the bottom of this whole situation, and, I'll let you tell the listener. So she discovers that, that the company that owns the Nostromo secretly ordered Ash. I fucking knew it. That Ash, this little son of a bitch, secretly ordered Ash to return with Alien, right? With the xenomorph. And to consider the crew expendable.
Ash must return with the alien to Earth. Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. Crew is expendable and considered secondary. Life loss is acceptable. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Except for Xenomorph. Xenomorph is important. More important than humans. Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop.
And she confronts Ash about it. Ash? You knew about this? What the hell, Ash? I knew I shouldn't have trusted you. I mean, I never trusted you, especially after that incident, after that little incident in the quarantine situation. I knew I was right.
Oh, Ripley, you just so nosy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what's that over there? And then it taps the choker to that.
You put your nose in the wrong place, Rip, and now you're gonna die. And start to choke Rip, and then suddenly Parker shows up, and Ash does this mandible claw thing and grabs Parker's chest, and Parker's like, what the fuck, bro, my chest, and suddenly he breaks free. Parker does from Ash and grabs something, a baseball bat, and just knocks him down, and and suddenly it starts spinning like some crazy person for no reason. He just and starts spinning around after he's clubbed in the head, and he gets clubbed in the head again, and soon we realize that Ash is an android and not a human being. And that's when I mentioned that scene where Ash, that acting was like, it was comical. It was ridiculous. I mean, Billy, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely there was a little overacting by that guy. It was very slapstick, honestly.
It's very, very slapstick. And, I mentioned earlier that this movie does a really good job at weaving together moments of brevity along with the intensity of the film and the horror of the film, but that was just poor acting. I had no idea. Maybe the director thought it was really funny and just left it in there, but all that rotating, like, it was too much for me. Yeah, that was funny without any need to make it funny. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that instance. Anyway. He's been disabled because he's clubbed to death. Do androids die? Do androids dream of electric sheep? And, well, after that, they decide to put it back together because they want some answers. And Ripley and Lambert starts to put together the android back. And by the way, if you've never seen those little fiber optic lights from like the 1980s and 90s that were really popular, they're in his guts. You know those little string lights with the little, you know, every home in the 90s had that. You know what I mean, Billy? Yeah, I know what you mean. They were like decorative, like little things that you'd put like in these giant vases in your living room, and they're awful. They're in his guts. So they put him back together, and well, as best as they can put him back together, considering his head is not falling off. And this is where I mentioned that the next scene after the uncontrollable spilling, the editing between, you know, clearly the special effects of a dismembered body, or rather a decapitated body, and the actor itself, or, you know, the little movie trickery they did to make it seem like it's, you know, a decapitated head. That editing was a little erratic and looked a little funky. I had to point it out, sorry. I know it's 1978, but I saw it. Anyway, they start to talk to it. And, well, they reactivate the head. And they start to question it. And, you know, and Ash says that the creature... Now he sounds more like Mom now.
That creature is unkillable. I admire its psychology. Its structural perfection is amazing. I admire its purity. Beep 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 boop boop. I am in love with the creature. Beep 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 boop boop. It's a survivor. Beep boop. It has no conscience. It's this creature. It's a slasher. Creature is a slasher. In its purest form. Boop, 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 boop. You have 0 chances of beating this thing, but you have my sympathies.
And suddenly, Ripley cuts off his power, and Parker, Sheriff, that's right. I've told you, only way you can bait these some bitches is by burning them down to the ground. And Parker grabs his flamethrower and does exactly as the sheriff said, is burn that son of a bitch down. That's right, that's the only way that you can make sure that the android doesn't somehow reactivate itself, is by burning that son of a bitch down. That's right, Sheriff. Thank you so much, Sheriff. I appreciate your contribution. So the remaining crew decide that the best path forward now is to self-destruct the Nostromo and escape in the shuttle. However, Parker and Lambert, you know, they decide, well, first and foremost, they decide that they're going to start to seek supplies, right? Yeah, they go down to grab some supplies, and now they're split up into Parker and Lambert, and Ripley is on her way to finding Jonesy, who the last time we saw him, he was being, well, he wasn't the one being harmed by the xenomorph, but he essentially saw the murder of Brett. Yeah, he was definitely traumatized. Poor little Jonesy. Jonesy? Oh, Jonesy's telling us he's definitely traumatized. And so we catch up with Lambert and Parker, who are gathering supplies. And they're working hard for the money. We work hard for the money. Honey, honey. We work hard for the money, so you better treat us right. The company's clearly not treating them right, because they chose the xenomorph over their own lives. And suddenly they get ambushed by the xenomorph, and Parker's like, oh my goodness, this some bitch has 2 mouths? What? How is that possible? Ah! What the? How does it eat? What? Where does the second mouth go when it bites? What? Does it schedule 2 different dentist appointments? What the fuck? How? How is it? Oh, it's killing me. Oh, God, it's good for killing. 2 mouths are good for killing, definitely. And he gets killed with the second xenomorph mouth. Just stabs him right to the chest. When they both go, and then the next scene, Lambert gets grabbed by the xenomorph's tail, and she gets punctured in the back, and she soon enough dies as well. really tragic death.
Oh my goodness. Well, really, you're right. That is a slasher.
And, at this point, the only one left standing is the final girl. The finalist of all final girls. Ripley initiates the self-destruct sequence. Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Countdown commencing at 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 4 minutes and 59 seconds. 58. 57. 56.
And, she's on her way to the little shuttle because, she's trying to self-destruct the Nostromo. And there she goes with little Jonesy, but unfortunately, in her way is the goddamn xenomorph. And the xenomorph is like, with its two mouths, right? And its teeth, Billy? The audience can't hear what you're doing, but you're just kind of like pretending to be a xenomorph with opening your mouth, and then your left hand is coming out of your mouth like a second mouth, and then you're clamping your teeth like the xenomorph. That's exactly what I'm doing. I appreciate that, Billy. Thanks for painting the picture for the audience. Oh yeah, that's why I'm here. So the two mouths, and they start chasing her, and she retreats. And she's trying to stop the the self-destruct sequence, but she is unfortunately unsuccessful. Well, the only way to go, it's got no options left, is to, is to burn that sumbitch down. No, Sheriff, she's not burning this stuff down. Is to escape to the shuttle. And she has Jonesy, and she's carrying him, and for a second I thought she was gonna leave him behind. Yeah, made it seem like they're forgetting her a little bit, yeah. So anyway, she grabs Jonesy and she narrowly, gently down the stream. Don't you mean merrily? Sure, narrowly. Anyway, she escapes the Nostromo onto the shuttle and, with carrying her flamethrower because the sheriff, that's right. You never know when you might need to burn some bits down. That's why I'm here. And that's why he's carrying her flamethrower. That's right, Sheriff. Thank you. You've been featured a lot on this episode, Sheriff. Well, things need to be burned down. Anyway, she's in the shuttle, and the hero has escaped. And Ripley is getting naked and preparing for stasis. But soon enough, in a quiet corner, she sees that the alien is also on board. It wets itself somehow into space in the shuttle, and it sticks its hand out in a very creepy fashion, like a cat. But not like Jonesy, right? The xenomorph doesn't make any noises. Huh? Best way I can describe it. Anyway, sticks his hand out and scares the shit out of her. Hey-oh! And soon enough, she's like, fuck. And she puts on a spacesuit, and she's jumping into the shit, and she's jumping into the little chair after she puts her spacesuit on, and this damn thing slowly but surely with its two mouths. You're doing that thing with your hand sticking out of your mouth again, pretending it's like the second mouth. That's right, thank you, Billy. And it's approaching her, and it's about to attack her with her two mouths, and suddenly Ripley, the final girl that she is, opens the airlock, almost blasting everybody into space, and she's like, "You are my lucky star." And somehow this son of a bitch is hanging on onto the frame, and it's like, ah! And the xenomorph doesn't talk, right? But the best way I can describe it is like almost floating out into the vastness and vacuum of space, and it's hanging on with its two mouths. And for the audience, he's doing that thing where the hand comes out of his mouth like a second mouth again, and he's chomping his teeth. Thanks, Billy. And then Ripley shoots it with a grappling hook and closes the door, but of course, the dawn catches as the air docks the airlock's doors closes. Oh my goodness, breathing exercise. Ow, now brown cow. Tethering the alien to the shuttle, and it's trying to pull itself back with its two mouths. And he's doing that thing again with the two mouths, with the hand coming out of his mouth. And it's trying to pull itself into the exhaust, but Ripley fires the old engines on the shuttle, blasting that sumbitch into space. And that's it. And puts together a log entry and puts little Jonesy. And Jonesy's licking his paws. Yeah, Jonesy doesn't lick his paws. Oh, Jonesy's licking his paws. And puts him into stasis and put herself into stasis, and they're on her way to Earth and fade to black, and that's it. Final girl survives, and that is the end of this one. And wow, what a ride. And the only thing that's left to do is, well, you're gonna burn this zombie down. No, Sheriff, we're done with that. Is give this movie a rating. Oh, that's right, wait. This movie, as I mentioned earlier, is as good as it is, as good as it was back then. And I am going to give this movie a 9. A 9 because of how great this story was, how well acted was, with the exception of Ash, of course. Billy?
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a great film. It was amazing then, and still holds up for the better part until now. So, yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Follow us on the old socials at the Instagrams, the TikToks, the YouTubes, and the Facebooks. We'll catch you again on another episode of Rick's Horror Movie Review Show. Rick's Rated R Horror Movie Review Show.